There is a chair in the corner of a quiet restaurant. One person sits there alone. No phone in their hand, no headphones, no one coming to join them. To most people, the scene feels strangely uncomfortable. We assume they have been stood up, that they have no friends, that something must be wrong. Because somewhere along the way, being alone became something to explain. So, we fill the silence, a podcast while cooking, music in the shower, a video while eating, a message sent to someone we do not even miss. Anything to avoid the moment when the noise stops and we are left with the one person we cannot walk away from, ourselves. This is not loneliness. Loneliness is the pain of wanting connection and not having it. Solitude is different. Solitude begins when no one else is in the room, and you do not immediately try to escape. Centuries ago, long before a silent room could be filled with the touch of a screen, monks deliberately walked away from noise. Picture one of them at dusk. The forest is growing dark. A small oil lamp burns inside a wooden hut. Somewhere beyond the trees, a bell sounds once, then disappears into the distance. There is no one to entertain him, no voice arriving through a speaker, no endless stream of other people's lives. When night falls, there is nowhere for his mind to hide. So he sits with it, the memories, the fears, the unfinished questions. To the modern mind, this may look like emptiness. But perhaps those monks understood something we are only beginning to forget. A quiet room eventually reveals what a noisy life can hide. The anger beneath the jokes, the sadness beneath the schedule, the question you keep postponing because every evening there is another screen waiting to rescue you from it. This may be why solitude frightens us, not because nothing is there, because something is, and a person who cannot sit alone will eventually make dangerous bargains. They will stay at tables where they are disrespected, return to people who have already hurt them, keep dead conversations alive. Not always because the connection is good, sometimes because an empty chair feels worse. That is when loneliness becomes expensive. If you need someone beside you at any cost, you lose the ability to choose who deserves to be there. The old monks did not sit in silence because silence was magical. They sat because when there is nowhere left to run, the mind eventually shows you what you have been carrying. At first, it is rarely peaceful. Your body becomes restless. Your hand reaches for something. Thoughts you managed to avoid all day suddenly become louder. 5 minutes can feel longer than an hour spent scrolling. But stay. Eventually, the mind grows tired of performing. The dust settles, and beneath all the voices telling you who to become, what to buy, how to look, and where you should be by now, something quieter returns, your own voice. This does not mean disappearing into a mountain. Human beings need connection. A life without love or friendship can become its own kind of prison. But enjoying someone's presence is very different from needing them there so you do not have to face yourself. One is connection, the other is escape. So leave an hour unfilled. Take a walk without carrying someone else's voice in your ears. Drink something slowly without reaching for a screen. Sit in the chair. Let the room stay quiet. You may feel uncomfortable. Stay a little longer. The goal is not to become someone who needs nobody. It is to become someone who does not accept anybody simply because nobody feels frightening. Choose people because their presence adds something honest to your life, not because their absence forces you to meet yourself. Perhaps that is what the old monks found in those dark forests and quiet rooms. When you are no longer afraid of your own company, people lose the power to control you with their absence. You can love someone deeply, miss them when they leave, and still remain whole when the door closes. A person who can be alone is not beyond loneliness. They have simply learned something loneliness cannot take away. They know the way home to themselves,